Let's break down the fiasco with the BBC and the subsequent latest resignations of its network head and news chief. What is this about? It's not just a personnel shakeup. This is a crisis of credibility at one of the most influential media institutions in the world. Two of the top figures at the BBC, Director General Tim Davie and BBC News Chief Deborah Turness, have resigned after weeks of revelations about editorial manipulation and political bias. The trigger was a leaked internal report published by the Daily Telegraph showing that a BBC documentary edited together separate lines from a speech by President Donald Trump in a way that made it seem as though he was calling for the January 6th Capitol riot.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
And once that edit was exposed, people started looking back at other coverage, in particular the BBC's reporting on the war in Gaza. For months, media watchdogs, Jewish organizations, and even a number of British lawmakers have accused the broadcaster of minimizing Israeli civilian suffering while softening or omitting context about Hamas's role as a terrorist organization. There were incidents that became symbolic. A documentary narrated by the son of a Hamas terrorist, a broadcast of a performer shouting death to the IDF, a photograph of a malnourished child used to imply Israeli-caused starvation, later corrected when it was revealed the child suffered from a rare medical condition. Now, none of this means every BBC journalist is biased. That would be unfair. But it does raise a question, a serious question. When a newsroom repeatedly edits, omits, or misframes key details, whether by intent or by oversight, what impact does that have on global perception and on real people out there? Because media doesn't just report on a story, media shapes how the world and the public understands that story. And in this case, that shaping has consequences. Jewish communities across Europe and the United States have been experiencing the highest levels of anti-Semitism in decades. So the question now isn't just who resigned, the real question is what happens next? Will the BBC re-examine its editorial culture, or will this be treated as a PR problem fixed with statements, but not by real change? Trust in media is already so fragile, and when trust breaks, it's very, very hard to put back together.